Alright, go ahead.
What are we doing?
We're fixing to mount a motor.
The only problem is with it that far back, this hits the winch already.
Well, what are you gonna do?
I mean, we'll try it.
Well, you don't really have a choice. Whoa. First off, that's not a winch.
That's the winch.
Oh, I thought you pointed at that.
This hits the winch.
Take the winch off. I already said it.
And we've come this far without it.
At what cost?
Well, technically, we ain't been this far yet.
In this economy?
Yikes.
I'm scared too.
You ready?
Pick it up a little bit. Jonathan, can you pick up a little bit?
That's it.
That's all you got?
We're back at it. This is day 135.
Feels like an apocalypse. And not get nothing accomplished.
Yeah, we're stuck in a time warp or something.
God almighty, it ain't never going in.
So, I have been getting some stuff done on the LS swap. It's just piddly little stuff, and I really haven't gotten any footage of it because it's just like mounted the transcooler, been messing with the interior, the shifter. I got the steering column drilled out. Show you what that looks like. Got the shifter in here, got the new PRP steering wheel in here. It's kind of dark, but this is not yet mounted, but I did get it trimmed out so it all fits. And I'm gonna cut the black piece of trim that goes back here. I'm gonna cut that out, put it back in. I gotta make a plate to cover up the hole where the shifter used to be, because the new shifter cable actually goes through where the parking brake was. And underneath, we got the transcooler mounted up. Got lines made for that. The transfer case. The transfer case is in here, but not permanently. It literally has nothing inside of it. I took it apart, brought it back over here just so I could get it in here and get a measurement for the drive shaft to send off to Tom Woods. So I did that, and I gotta take the transfer case back out, put it back together with the new parts. You can see where the shifter cable comes out here. What else have I done? Wired up a few things. So for today, I need to work on brake lines, but I don't know if I'll get to that point just yet. But I am going to work on building my pressure line for the power steering. And what I'm going to be doing is AN or Russell's makes fittings that go in the Jeep gearbox and the LS truck pump. And I'm pretty sure it would be the same part if you were doing a car pump. I know a lot of these accessory brackets you have to run a car pump. I think Casey's going to run a car pump on his.
We're going to see which one does better.
Yeah.
Well, if they both equal out.
Yeah. So I got the AN6 fittings for the gearbox and the pump, and I got some 45-degree, just make your own lines. So I got to make a pressure line. So I'll show you guys how to do that. The return line's pretty simple because it's just like a piece of hose with hose clamps on it, essentially, is all it is. So let me get the camera set up, and I'll grab the stuff to start making these lines. Alright, so here's what I got. Just some regular like nylon AN6 line. This is the same stuff I used for fuel hose, Transcooler line, and I want to make my pressure line for the power steering out of this. So I'm going to put an end on one side, and then I'll put it up there in place, kind of measure out. I mean, this thing's only going to be like maybe 5 or 6 inches. Cut it to length, because basically it's just coming out of the gearbox, looping around, and going into the pump. So here's what we got. Just a 90-degree AN6 fitting. If you've never used these before, I'll show you how to do that real quick. It's pretty straightforward. You take the collar off. The collar threads onto the hose. And this is, let me think. Yeah, this is left-hand threaded. So should probably kind of burn off those frays because I've been handling this piece quite a bit. There we go. Just kind of melted those frayed ends down. So take your end, and you can kind of see when it bottoms out inside. That went a little too far, but yeah, you can see when it bottoms out inside of there. Now this goes down in here. And this is right-hand threaded. Basically, this piece is cone shaped on the end, so it's easy to start. And then as you thread it in, it swells that hose up on the inside to make a nice tight fit. And I usually just put some kind of lube on here, usually whatever type of fluid it's going to be used for. So I got a little bit of power steering fluid, so I'll just put a little bit and just kind of wet the end of it, just to help it go in a little bit easier. So you'll take this, make sure it starts straight, and you will most likely need a wrench to turn this thing all the way in. And that's what it'll look like when you're done. And the cool thing is, the end can still swivel. Alright, I'm just gonna hold this here for now. I need to get my other line here. I know you can't see what I'm doing under here, but basically I'm just running the hose over to where my fitting is, and I know where the end needs to be, and I'll just mark it there and cut it to length. Now it's cut to length, so I'll take the end off and we'll just repeat the same step again, and that's it. We've built a pressure line. Pretty straightforward. This is literally the easiest way that I know how to do this. I'm sure you could come up with some kind of, I don't know, maybe take a factory GM hose and go get a Jeep end crimped on it or something, but then the length would have to be adjusted because these are so close together. So I don't know, this is what I would do if I were doing this again. On another vehicle that I LS swapped in the past, I did fuel lines and Transcooler lines all with Russell's AN6 fittings, and that's been, I don't even know, several years ago, and I've had zero issues. Zero. No leaks, no nothing. I mean, if you put it together right, the stuff works flawlessly. If you notice, I don't have a power steering pump pulley on there yet. That's because I was gonna rob the one off of the power steering pump that was on Casey's engine, and I broke the pulley trying to get it off. It was so stuck. So ordered one of those. It'll be here in a couple days. Okay, now if I can get this end to thread on there, this will be successful. Come on, just do it. we're getting somewhere now. Alright, once you tighten this down, that takes the swivel motion out of it this way, so make sure it's where you want it on the other end before you go tighten anything down. Alright. Man, that's nice. Hopefully I have the clearance here for a pulley. Bam, look at that. Ooh, I love that. Those fittings, that line is super easy. And you can find adapters for everything I've ever looked for. Literally everything. So there's that. I got the radiator hoses figured out. That was kind of difficult. Let me show you what I came up with for that. Alright, so this is what the radiator setup looks like from Novak. It comes with this. This is your like filler neck, because this is technically a closed cooling system now. So the upper radiator hose I ordered for a 2002 Camaro because I couldn't seem to find anything that was the right size to fit the water pump. This piece is a little bigger than the inlet at the radiator and the outlet from the water pump. So if this is tight, you have to put a little something on here to lube this up to get it together, but it will work. You can see how much it swells up the hose. But and then the lower one is literally just a generic, I don't even know, I just asked the people at the part store to grab me a thermostat because I knew the neck would be the same size. And I just found a hose with a 90 in it that fit the thermostat and cut it to fit. I mean, that part was super simple. So this does have a barbed fitting that you thread into here to go to like an overflow bottle, so I'll hook that up. The fan setup's super nice. This radiator is beef. The radiator is super nice. It's got two different size fans. These two are shallower. They're all Spall fans, but these are shallower, and then that one over there is thick, so I think I'll wire it up. He's got two relays in the relay box for fans, so I'll do this on one relay and that on another. I'm working on getting some brake line bent. This is going to be the new front brake line. So this is down out of the proportionate valve, back down the body a little bit, over, and then down under the Jeep. Once I get under there, it's going to kind of curve and go back towards the cross member, where I'll have this piece, and this will be in there, so as the suspension goes up and down, it's got plenty of movement. I'm not bending hard line. So this will be at the back, and then it'll be hard line up the third link to the axle, where it'll tee off and go to each side. I got to get another piece of soft line like this. It didn't even occur to me that I would need a piece of this at the axle so it can move up and down. So I got that ordered, and I need shorter, like braided, preferably the coated braided brake lines for the front calipers, because what I have on there now are for the lift kit. You know, they came with the lift kit, so those things are like this long, and I really need, you know, just enough so that I can turn the wheel left and right, so not a ton. So I got to figure that out still, but I'm going to get this all made and plumbed up to that point, and then figure that out once I get there. So I'm using one of these benders. I got this off the Mac tool truck. I'm sure you can get something like this on Amazon, but it just shows you the degrees as you bend it all the way around to 180. And this particular type of brake line is 10 times easier to bend than regular steel brake line. You can literally just bend this stuff by hand. They're super easy to do. So I'm going to slide under there, try to feed this up, see how it fits, make sure my bends are in the right place and my links look okay. Then once I get that done, I'll just kind of straighten it and go back down the body to wherever it needs to be and cut it off. So that's where we're at with the brake lines. I'll get this fed up in there and see what it looks like. We got brake lines hooked up here. It's kind of hard to see, I know. Got that done. Basically my junction's right there from hard line to soft line, and then this is just going to loop around and go up the third link, the upper link, and then this will give me the ability to for the suspension to move up and down without having any problems. So I'm waiting on another piece. I'm waiting on another piece of soft line to be able to hook all that up, and then the brake lines will be done.
Just do a little bit weight. Do a little bit weight.
Yeah.
Do a little bit weight.
Yeah. Do something, buy a couple parts. Do another thing, buy some more parts.
Go twiddle your thumbs for a little bit.
We're trying to get this thing done for Memorial Day, though. That's the goal.
The goal.
At this point, anyway.
Will we make it?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I think we will. I mean, we've done worse.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we pulled this thing right out of the driveway and took it to Windrock, and we've done it one time. So,
that's the truth. Back at it. It is Saturday. It's a rainy Saturday, and I've spent most of the day here working on this thing, getting a bunch of little stuff done. Worked on it last night too, so let me show you guys what the progress looks like. We got a belt. So a 76.3 inch belt is what I ended up with because of the modification I made here. I got to get some 45-degree line ends. What I'm actually going to do is 45 out of the box. I've got these lines just zip tied down so that they're not on the belt, but I need those lines angled down just a little bit. I got the front brake lines hooked up. So now my brake line comes out of the proportionate valve back towards the cross member, and then loops and follows the third link all the way up to the axle. You can kind of see there what it looks like. Obviously these brackets need to be fixed so that they're actually attached. That one's just held on with some vice grips, but that was just for mock-up. So now I need to get in here, drill holes and tap them so I can bolt that stuff in. And you can see where that brake line runs across. Kind of. I got the cross member in, the transfer case is in. I had to build kind of a bracket on the top of this, on the top of my cross member, because it was too low. So I just used a piece of 2x6 left over from the rock sliders. And so that's that. We had to cut my drive shaft down. I think we took about 2.5 inches out of the front drive shaft. Casey did that for me this morning. Waiting on the rear drive shaft still from Tom Woods. And at this point, I'm ready to put the radiator back on this thing and put it together. I'm trying to get it ready to go get exhaust Tuesday, I believe, is the goal for that. So, get her put in, hoses hooked up. I got heater hoses done. I still got to figure out the bracket or how I'm going to mount the computer. So, I'll get you guys set up and I'm going to start putting the radiator in. We're back. This time, we're going to try to pull this thing outside, but we're not going to try to. One way or other, I guess it's going on a trailer.
It's got a winch. It's
got a winch. If we have to use it, that's what we'll do. There's still a bunch of little stuff that needs to be done.
But right now we're gonna fire it up.
We got
on the trailer.
We got the trans filled. We're filling the cooling system. In case you got the transfer case fluid filled. We got all the wires that aren't currently attached to anything zip tied out of the way. The engine computer is just laying over there on the fender. The fuse box is just laying over here on the fender. I don't have a rear drive shaft. It only has a front drive shaft. But
Wait for the old boys Tom Woods to send the other one back.
my rear drive shaft should be here Friday. So huge shout out to Tom Woods because they definitely came through for me. I talked to those guys on the phone yesterday afternoon. They found some issues with the drive shaft. He was like, hey, do you want us to take care of this? I had him take care of that. They fixed it and shipped it back to me on the same day. So that's customer service like you'll get nowhere else.
Guaranteed nowhere.
Guaranteed. So I got to hook the battery up. We're going to start this thing up, let it run. Check the fluids and everything, make sure it's good. And if so, it's going on the trailer. So stick around.
What happened under there?
We've had a little bit of a fluid leak. Not sure what yet.
He's going to get a bag of quick dry. And we got another cardboard over here. Well, wherever it is, it's still leaking.
Yeah. Here we go. Take two.
Take two.
We had a little bit of a leak. That's it. It's on the trailer. You didn't get to see all the action, but you did get to see it coming out of the shop. So I got a brake line leaking. I got to take care of that, and then this thing's going to get exhaust put on it tomorrow. This is the key right here. You turn the camera on in case he starts picking tools up.
Got jokes. They good ones, dude. That's good as chips.
You turn the camera on and Jonathan just gets funny.